I think sometimes there can be some resistance, especially if you grew up in a very authoritarian. Parents should be respected at all times. The kids should
Yeah.
just do whatever you think that they should do. And often I find when that happens, you have one spouse that feels that way, and many times another spouse that feels the opposite. Would love your perspective and the experience in terms of maybe what's a first step if somebody's in that situation on how do you just begin that process of trying to navigate very different parenting styles?
Yeah, that's such a good question and such a difficult challenge for a lot of, I mean, this is like stripping back to like not even parenting, it's just communication. How do you communicate? And finding ways maybe for, because parenting can be a really emotional topic that taps into like personal to get into the guilt and the shame. And, that one or both of the adults, the parents, don't even realize it's happening. So if you can think about something that's not parenting in your relationship, maybe even pre-kids, where there was a disagreement or different viewpoints and how you handled that and what worked. I'm a big believer in like, as much as I said, like talk to your kids, same thing, talk to your partner or your spouse, you have to know when and how, right? And so that's really connecting, really understanding who that person is, how they like to receive feedback. That's another point of conversation, and be like, how do you like to receive feedback, positively or negatively? And talking to them, to the partner, to your partner when it's not heated. And that's the same thing with the kids too. Like so often, we want to like teach the lesson or explain what needs to be done when there's heated emotions. And the best time to actually do that is when everything has kind of settled down. Or car rides, or when it's like not related at all, but you want to know what they're thinking, whether it's your child or your partner. Like, hey, you're running an errand or on a car trip and just asking like, what are your thoughts about this? Or using other families to gauge, like I do that a lot, is like, I'll talk about another family and the way maybe they handled something or what one of the kids was doing to get a feel of what all the parties in the family think about that, and especially with teens, like, oh, so-and-so is allowed to do this, what are your thoughts about that? Or just not even directly ask, just kind of hear how they respond to it. You can get a lot of insight, when it's not specific to your family, just to hear where people's perspectives are. That can change a relationship in a big way.